men walk down a dusty road in Depression-era California, and they are the only two men in this whole world of drifters who have each other. One is small and quick and sharp-faced. The other is enormous, gentle and slow, with the mind of a child and the hands of a giant. And as they settle by a river for the night, the big one asks the small one to tell him one more time the story he's heard 100 times, the story of the little farm they're going to have someday. With rabbits he can tend. That's the whole ache of Mice and Men in its first pages, two people, one impossible dream, and a tenderness so fragile you already sense the world is going to crush it. The small man is George Milton, and the big man is Lennie Small, and they travel together in a time when almost nobody travels with anybody. It's the 1930s, the Dust Bowl years, and ranch hands drift from job to job, alone, rootless, saving nothing. George and Lennie are different, and they cling to that difference like a warm coat. They have each other, and they have the dream. A few acres of their own, a place where they answer to no one, where Lennie can raise soft rabbits and George can finally stop moving. Lennie can't remember much, but he can always remember this. They've got a future because they've got each other. It's a beautiful dream. It's also, Steinbeck makes us feel from the start, exactly the kind of dream that men like this are never allowed to keep. The trouble is Lennie himself. He is powerful beyond his own understanding and drawn helplessly to soft things. Mice, puppies, a woman's dress. And he doesn't know his own strength. He loves to stroke soft things, and when they panic, he panics, and when he panics, he holds on too tight. We learn they had to flee their last job because Lennie grabbed a woman's dress and wouldn't let go, and was accused of something terrible he never meant. George covers for him, protects him, scolds him, loves him, carries him the way you carry someone who can never carry himself. At the new ranch, the danger closes in from two directions. There's Curly, the boss's son, a small, mean man itching to fight anyone bigger than him. And there's Curly's wife, lonely and flirtatious and desperately bored, the only woman on a ranch full of men, treated as trouble by everyone and seen as a person by no one. Around them drift the other broken figures Steinbeck lines up so carefully. Old Candy, who has just watched his ancient dog shot because it was no longer useful, and who begs to buy into George and Lennie's dream. And Crooks, the black stable hand, forced to sleep alone in the barn, aching with a loneliness the others will never have to feel. Every one of them, in their way, is reaching for the same thing: company, a place, a scrap of a future, and every one of them is being told quietly that people like them don't get to have it. For one brief moment, the dream almost becomes real. With Candy's savings added in, the little farm is suddenly actually within reach. Close enough to touch, and that is exactly when it all comes apart. Lennie, alone in the barn, is stroking Curly's wife's soft hair when she panics. He panics. He holds on too tight. And just like that, she is dead. And he has done the unthinkable without ever meaning any harm at all. He flees to the riverbank where the book began to wait for George the way George always told him to. And here Steinbeck hands his hero the most terrible choice in American fiction. A mob is coming, led by Curly, who wants Lennie to die slowly and in pain. George knows they will find him. He knows what they'll do. And he knows that Lennie will never understand any of it. So George finds him first. He sits beside his friend by the river and one last time tells him the story, the farm, the rabbits, the little place where they'll live off the fat of the land. And as Lennie gazes across the water, smiling, seeing it all, George raises a gun to the back of his head and, out of pure love, spares him everything worse that was coming. It's the cruelest thing he could do, and it's the kindest, and it's both at once. Which is why nobody who reads it ever forgets it. The man who wrote it grew up among exactly these people in the Salinas Valley of California, and he never lost his tenderness for the working poor. John Steinbeck took his title from a poem by Robert Burns, "The best laid schemes of mice and men gang eft agly," meaning the most carefully made plans so often fall apart. And that heartbreak is the whole spine of the book. He'd go on to write the great Dust Bowl epic, The Grapes of Wrath, and in 1962 to win the Nobel Prize. But in this slim, perfect little novel, He distilled it all down to two men and a dream on a dusty road. So read it. You can do it in an afternoon, and it will stay with you for years. Read it because it's about the deepest human hunger there is. Not for money, but for someone who's glad you exist and a small place to call your own. And read it for that final, unbearable act of love by the river, which asks a question the book never quite answers, and neither will you. What would you do if the only way left to protect someone you loved was the hardest thing of all?